literally just 2 months ago, I was about 50 pounds overweight. And basically, I didn't have much time, right? In a relationship, busy with work, lots of responsibilities. And I was really trying to wrap my head around it because that the weight came on unexpectedly. I remember one day I just stepped on the scale and then I was about 260 pounds. And at first I was thinking like, oh man, I must have gained a lot of muscle recently. And then I went in the mirror and then I took a picture and then I took a video. I was holding a second. I'm fat. Obviously, it wasn't that funny at the time, but you get the idea, right? Because the weight can sneak up on you so quickly, especially when you're focused with other things in life. And the thing is, like, we all want it, right? Everyone wants to be in shape. Everyone wants to have visible abs, but a lot of people just don't have much time. They have other priorities in life, as myself included. And the thing is, though, that I found is that, like, you actually get more jacked doing less, believe it or not. And that's what I found to be true in my life because I've tried to lose weight in the past. And back then, I was actually a lot younger back then as well. But I was overweight. And so naturally, I'd done a lot of sports growing up. And obviously, sports, you do a lot of running. So I just thought, oh, you just start doing a whole bunch of cardio, start running, the weight will just melt off. And the thing that happened was that basically, running is not easy when you're overweight. It's tough on the joints. And basically, I ended up getting injured, right? Trying to out-train a bad diet, right? That's what I was trying to do. But what allowed me to drop a lot of this weight this time around was actually the fact that I didn't have much time. That was what made my journey work out so smoothly because it was the fact that I didn't have a lot of time that I didn't try and do anything extreme. A lot of people will think to themselves, I want to get in shape. You know, I'm just going to go torture myself in the gym. I'm going to get on that treadmill. I'm going to lift 5-6 times a week and run and keep up with all my responsibilities with work and with relationships and with all the social stuff that you got going on. But it tends not to work out that way. Maybe you last a few days. Maybe if you're really good, you last 2 weeks, but it never really, let's be honest, it doesn't last. Anytime you try and just go balls to the walls, anytime you try and cheat your way to quick results, it never works. It really doesn't. And what I wanted to share was, I think this will be really helpful, is that believe it or not, it's literally the little things, right? Because the fact that I didn't have enough time, because what I did, me personally, I sat down and I was just honest with myself. I was like, you know what, 20 minutes was even pushing it. You know, I gave myself 10 minutes. I'm be honest, I gave myself 10 minutes. I said to myself, I'll give my fitness goals 10 minutes a day. That's it. That's what I'm giving to my fitness goals. And you're probably thinking, 10 minutes a day, you can't get a proper workout in just 10 minutes. And that's the point, right? That's the key. Because I was only willing to give myself 10 minutes a day, I had to focus on things outside of exercise, outside of training. And what that led me to focus on was actually my diet. Get it, right? Because you think diet and like, well, it takes time to cook, it takes time to do this. But it wasn't so much what I did, it was more so what I chose to stop doing, right? The thing that helped me so much is one, I kept things so small, right? My changes over the course of 60 days or whatever it was, that my changes were so subtle over time. It almost felt like I hadn't really made any real changes. So when I was going on my fitness journey, it was so easy for me to continue on the journey, right? Because I wasn't trying to climb a mountain every day. It was just such small stuff. So for instance, with the diet, all I did, and if you've been watching my videos, you probably already know this, all I did was I sat down and I looked at what I was eating and I said to myself, what's one thing that I know I shouldn't be eating if I want to lose fat, right? I didn't pick out, because there's a long list of food, like when you look at the food that I was eating, there was a long list of food, there was a proper long list. But I literally said to myself, you know what, I'm just going to pick out one thing, just one thing. Everything else is fair game. I just said to myself, I'm going to pick out one thing that I know would be helpful for fat loss. I actually ended up taking out two things. So if you want to call me a cheater, maybe I cheated. But I just took out cheese. Obviously, that's a big one. As we know, that's really good for your bones, but it's really good for keeping weight on as well. So I took that off. And I also stopped eating honey as well. Obviously, honey is really good for you. Local honey, raw honey, right, straight from the bee farm. Really good for you, but high in sugar. So I just got rid of those two things. And I also started to write down what I was eating. When I say write down, really, I was just typing it out on my phone. It only took me like 5 seconds. Anytime I was gonna eat something, I just wrote it down. Literally, all I did was, for instance, if it was breakfast and I had 3 eggs or something, I would literally just pull out my phone, write 7:30 a.m. 3 eggs. Literally, that's all I wrote down. I didn't write down this many calories. No, I literally wrote down 3 eggs. That's it. And I think just doing that, what that did for me though, is it really shifted my focus. The fact that I didn't put any pressure on myself and I said, I'm just going to remove one item and start writing stuff down. People will have their diet and they'll feel guilty and they're, oh man, I can't have this. They feel so restricted. But I think the major thing that happened was I was just so free because again, I was spending less than 10 minutes a day. And then I just picked out one thing to stop doing and I was just writing stuff down. And there was no real pressure to it. Anyone can do it. It takes 5 seconds. Maybe it takes maybe less than 60 seconds a day, if you think about it. You're gonna pull out your phone anyway. Let's be honest, right? You're just gonna be sitting there scrolling while you're eating food. Yeah, I wrote down 3 eggs. That's nothing. And then I took out literally just one thing out of my diet. There's plenty of other stuff in my diet that I was still eating. But what happened was just over time, especially over the first 2 weeks, one thing that actually helped a lot is, believe it or not, just taking out the cheese and the honey, I actually dropped 7 pounds, 3 kilos. I was literally writing it down on whiteboard as well. It was so basic. So one, I actually lost weight just from taking out one thing that I knew was going to be bad for me if I wanted to lose fat. Literally just one thing. And I started writing stuff down. But the thing is that really shifted my focus every single day. Even though I wasn't doing much, every day I was consistent. That writing stuff down, again, most people eat 3 meals a day plus whatever snacks that you're eating. If you have 2 snacks a day and 3 meals, it's 5 times a day. And you just constantly remind it. It's a constant reminder. Anytime I'm pulling out my phone, I'm writing down 3 eggs, or I'm writing down I had this for lunch or that for dinner, or I had this for a snack. When you do that, you're constantly thinking and reminding yourself that, hey, I'm on a fitness journey right now. And then just naturally, especially when you're writing stuff down, it's like you're looking over there at the snacks and you're like, man, I kind of don't want to write that down. I don't. And then I just naturally ended up not eating it because I was just stuffing. I was, oh man, my list looks so good right now, man. I don't want to add those snacks onto this list. No, I'm not going to eat that right now. And it was almost like a game. Because a lot of times people were trying to lose weight and they're trying to get lean or they're trying to get a six pack. And stress, it's just extra stress because they're just getting so wrapped up and so anal about everything. Oh my goodness, oh, I can't eat that. But I think because I was using those tiny small steps, there was no pressure, there was no stress behind it. In fact, it actually became fun, it became enjoyable. And I was actually enjoying the process. I think that's the main thing when it comes to fat loss. It's having something that you can stay consistent with. And as we all know, it's common sense, right? If you're doing something that you enjoy every day or you're doing something that you hate every day, which one are you more likely to stick with? It's the thing that you enjoy, right? If you hate doing something every day, you're probably going to stop doing it, right? It's just having those small moments and doing those little things that shift your perspective, right? Because if I'm trying to lose weight and everything's negative and everything's stressful and your life is already hectic and you already have no time. Now you're adding on more mental stress, you're just gonna explode. You're just gonna get more stress and you're gonna carry more fat. It's just not gonna work. So when you really just decide to just take it step by step, right? You just understand that it's gonna take time and you find ways to enjoy the process. That's when you can really see lasting results. And it won't just be for a season because you'll develop those habits and those habits will keep your weight down even after you've lost the weight. So if you want to get jacked, mate, do less, right? Just start off with the tiny little things that you can be consistent with, and that will help you to stay on track, and then you will be able to get closer to your goal. The diet is very important. One thing I did make sure to do was to keep a high protein diet. Anywhere from 50 to 80% of my calories were coming from animal protein. So your beef, your fish, your steak, your eggs, your chicken, right? Your ostrich, your kangaroo if you're out in Australia, right? Because those foods, they really help you to retain your muscle mass while you're in a calorie deficit. So again, if you keep your muscle on, your muscle increases your metabolism and it makes fat melt off you much easier. So just keep that in mind to have small baby steps and also keep your protein numbers up and just take it day by day, right? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So you got to do things that you can stay consistent with. But one thing I will say though is that obviously if you are doing it on your own, it can be really difficult. Even if you do take things slowly, there are going to be days when you're not seeing as much progress as you would like to see. It can be a bit discouraging. So it's always good to have people in your circle that can lift you up when you're going through those rough patches. So anyone who obviously is trying to lose weight and you feel like there's no one in your corner right now that can help you out, obviously just shoot us a message on WhatsApp. We do have a community where we have a lot of guys who are also getting in shape, and it's good to just have that camaraderie around you. And again, it makes it fun and it makes it easier to stay on track. And then if you need extra help and you're really looking to invest, obviously we do offer one-on-one coaching as well. But honestly, just getting in a group and getting involved and having other people around you is really beneficial. Obviously, that's not super expensive or anything. So again, just reach out to us. Just there are links on the channel, or you can just check the comments. Again, I hope this has been helpful. As they say, Rome wasn't built in a day, so don't try and put too much pressure on yourself. Just stick to the basics and you'll get there. And obviously, if you need help, just reach out. Again, I hope this has been helpful, guys. And I hope you hit your fitness goals. Go get that six pack by the summer, guys. Peace.